Hello everyone and welcome back for a new episode of Let's Play our Adventure Guild on Ironman above very hard difficulty. So as I mentioned in the previous video, I'm going to do a special episode this time for two reasons actually. I thought about one and I decided to add a second one. Let's start with the second one, which is the difficulty setting. I have been playing with either very hard settings or above very hard settings, and since day 70-ish, I would say, I have been doing quests almost without losing any HP. I went into some very hard fights at some point, which were quite hard. But so far, the difficulty setting was something new to me. I tried a lot on the first few days and I learned. You probably, I hope at least for you, learn a little bit with me as well. Even though some of you might be far above me, maybe in terms of difficulty setting. But lately, even though those difficulty settings are very hard, I feel like I should upgrade them a little. So if I do a quick recap, 30, 30, 20 is exactly what is on very hard difficulty setting. And to me, as I mentioned in the first video, it's about making your enemies doing twice as much damage as they would normally. Because if they have 30% more HP, they will last 30% longer and do, as a consequence, something like 30% more damage because they will last longer, so they will hit more times, more often. That's not precisely true, and actually it would be more than that because they usually don't do damage in the first few rounds, or at least in the first one, but they will do a lot in the second and third, so having them last longer would be for pure damage usually, so that's more than 30%, but whatever. Plus, for every hit, they do 30% more damage, so that's 1.3 times 1.3 difficulty increase, that's 69 difficulty increase, plus bonus accuracy, which makes every other hit almost connect. So if you go from like something like, I don't know, 60% hit chance to 80, yeah, that adds to the multiplier. So that's roughly times 2, I would say. Damage output over the course of a quest for the enemies, which can have a snowball effect as well, which would increase this even further a little. And then quest reward bonus modifier was at -20, chest and resource bonus modifier at -30, I think, and XP was stable at 0, sorry, and I increased all of them by -20 to make the game a bit more challenging in terms of economy, so that I don't buy too many useless stuff. I don't use potion. I never use potion except for once, I think, maybe twice. Once for buy jewel, where my only adventurer drank a resistant potion, and once during some quest, a Bandit King quest, if I remember correctly, what I used an health potion as an emergency. But apart from those two potions over the whole playthrough, I never used any other potion or consumables whatsoever. So that, and I almost never purchased anything at Mechans. I never purchased craftable resources. I never purchased items apart from 1 or 2 accessories when they pop out, because I'm less likely to get the good ones I want due to these settings. So, and so far I'm doing really well in terms of bank. So, and I realized 2 more settings appeared since I started this playthrough. The dev added them, and I realized that adventure bonus accuracy was increased above normal, or at normal, I think, by 10% or something. But I will let it at 0. I think it's a good way to play at 0, where enemies, well, I mean, your adventurers have the stats they have period. You don't change that. And random enemy encounter, I'm not sure what that means. A bonus multiplier on how many points will be used to generate random encounter, but will not change encounters that are already roaming on the map. So I don't know if it increases the number of potential encounter you have on a quest, or the number of enemies that will pop up in this encounter. But I checked, and on very hard difficulty it's at 10%. So not knowing exactly what this does, and considering that it might not change the difficulty setting for already scripted encounters, like quest where the story quest where the number of enemies is already perfectly set, I won't change that just in case it would just modify random fights. This would make random fights at some point much harder than the actual quest, and I mean quest like the story quest fights, which would be weird to me. So I will let this like this, but what I'm going to do is to increase this, and I intend to increase this by a further 20, this by a further 20, and this by 10. And this is a lot actually. I will also decrease this by 10, this by 10, and this by 10. Well, actually make this by 20. Yeah. And we'll leave it like this. So this will make the endgame much harder in terms of, well, in terms of economy. I can go lower. It's not possible. I think it would be like really fucking crazy to do at -60, because this will decrease my reward by a further 20% in terms of ratio. It's a -10 flat, but going from -50 to -60 leaves you with 40 normal resources instead of 50, so that's really punishing, I would say. But that should be doable. Even -70, I believe. Well, XP, I am very slightly above the XP threshold I'm supposed to have for each quest, which is normal because enemies are stronger, so I tend to be careful. So decreasing XP reward will be... I'm not... Considering it's a let's play and I'm playing... I don't know if I should put -40. It might be a little bit too grindy at some point, like doing farming or whatever. Let's see if I apply... Yeah, those guys are already ahead. Those guys aren't. That might be a little too grindy. Yeah, but I'm already so far ahead, so... Okay, let's put it like this, at least for now. And regarding the enemy power, let's say, we went from something that was time 169, yeah, to something that is 2.25, which is gonna be insanely hard. Enemy bonus accuracy has been increased by a further 10. So this is going to make the game... I think I never tried this, as I never tried the settings I had before while starting the Let's Play series. So I don't know where this is gonna lead us, because enemies, each individual enemy having plus 50 health, when you consider that hard difficulty, I think it's plus 10, and very hard plus 20, I believe, or plus 30, plus 30 maybe, and that like easy is minus 30 or something. It's gonna be really hard, and it might have a snowball effect, because having enemies last longer, more turns, and connect with you more often, then doing much more damage, might trigger some negative snowball effect that might be really punishing. However, I want to try this. Let's see where this goes. And yeah, for the benefit of the experience, I think it would be better for everyone if the game was, let's say, one step harder. I'm gonna keep Permadeath on, so anyone that dies, penalty dies. That's the way to play in a real game. I'm gonna keep Ironman as well. It doesn't appear like here because I think I cannot remove it. And I'm still allow scouting, even though I didn't use it much, apart from 2 or 3 at the start of the game, let's say on the 3 first week, and as per request from viewers. So, is there something here I could change, or something that appeared? Okay, no. I already applied, yes. Let's check. Yeah, okay, that's saved. So you see it's Ironman, I cannot save the game. And that was the first thing I wanted to discuss with you, so that's a change in difficulty setting. Let's hope I won't regret that. Then I wanted to make a quick recap as to what happened in the previous 100 days, or at least in the previous 31, because I did a big recap on day 70. You can watch this video. It's a pretty long one that I did. This one would be much shorter. Pretty long one that I did on day 70. It was on episode 50. You can check that in the playlist. And I did a recap on the first few minutes, and it's the rest of the video was about tips and tricks and strategies and builds and so forth. So this time I won't do that all over again. I will just do a recap of what happened so far. So let's start with the tempo. I almost never used heal, apart on my A team. I tend to have people heal while doing something secondary, and not healing them when they are just slightly injured, for the money save that it implies, and for mood management as well. Blessings I've never used so far. I think 200 gold, not knowing what you can get, is not acceptable at this difficulty setting, although now I might change my mind. And respect, I only respect Elan stupidly because I chose a skill that wasn't applying to his build, and I should have changed its class instead of respect him, because I paid like way too much gold to do this. Blacksmiths, I crafted what I could use so far. I might craft this one maybe. Let's see. I could craft this, yeah, but I couldn't craft the other version. Okay. So I've crafted what I could in terms of epic or above armors, or rare ones as well. I am slowly but steady collecting resources, keeping in mind that I have a minus 50% income regarding a normal playthrough. But still, since I only craft what I absolutely need, I can afford to, as soon as something out of the ordinary pops out. And then I have crafted only the gems that I absolutely need, and I'm gonna add this one to this one, making it an absolute beast of an armor. Merchant, I don't purchase anything apart from legendary chest key for the end game, because I can afford to. I have recently sold almost all my uncommon items, keeping just 2 of each, just if needed at some point. I have some rare ones, not too much, but a few rare ones that I keep for now. Let me sell those ones. 2 of them should be enough. I have so many epic amulets I never use. Even when I fight dragons, I don't take the fire ones. So many boots, like I work in at Gucci or Versace, I don't know. So many useless swing as well, and I have a few that I have equipped that are useful. Adventurers, I have 30 at the moment, if I'm correct. 35. All right. A team is here, B team is there, and is gonna catch up once the A team is sent into vacation tomorrow. And a few other teams with low levels, and those guys that I won't level up further. Those guys are just doing some shitty assignments, and having 35 is probably way above what I need. I think 30 should be perfect, but since I really need to do every possible assignment to collect what I need, I went to 35. Each of them are now worthy of being upgraded. I really had absolute trash mercs for the first 30 or 40 days, I think. And all of a sudden on day 70-ish I started having some nice rolls, so I had some like healthy, resilient, WSM bringing guys. Ava was nice also. Kind, strong, educated, insightful is absolutely amazing, with a talent in strength. So these guys could catch up at some point, especially if I lose someone, which might happen considering the difficulty setting I increased. But so far they don't do many missions, if they did any. Actually, they mostly do assignments that require higher statistics or higher levels, and that's more or less it. Only the B team is really doing some quest, and I have Misasa being at least friends with all of her teammates, which is a condition to be able to tackle the story quest with us. So she will need to level up first before I can do Misasa soul quest, and they will need quite some more levels, and then I will do it. Then considering my A team, I'll have Alejandro, which is a Zen archer. I will do a specific video later on with all tier 3 classes and titles. Alejandro, who was a request from a viewer, who was then crafted according to his desires. Elan, that you all know, that has been turned into a paladin. Finian, who just turned into a Dragon Knight this evening, so he's gonna pack a punch in terms of melee damage. Leon, which is our scouted archer, now ranger, soon to be beastmaster, who got all the potions I could give him, all the strength increase that I could net him, because he was lagging way behind in the first half of the campaign. He got the arm wrestling master, which Finian just got at level 18, I think. I chose to give it to Leon first. Kira, which is our soon to become witch, who has a crystal eye as well. And Eric, who was our starting mage with the bright scripted trait, who I realized could become actually a nice priest, bishop, and now saint. Then we have our B team made of a bard as well, Philin, paladin, Misasa, who is now an assassin, Daryl, who is a ranger with arm wrestling, but even though he just got it, I think. Alyssa, our excellent merchant high mage, and Kaylin, a nice priest. I chose to keep Kaylin in the B team instead of Celine because I believe Kaylin is, well, just slightly better, even though Celine has some dedicated skills as a bishop. And then one last thing before I end this video is, let's see how each one of them do in terms of statistics. If I remember correctly, on day 70, so episode 50 that I mentioned earlier, Elan was doing like 12k damage since the beginning of the campaign. Kira was catching up as well. She was behind but reached 12k or something close. And Finian was at 15 or 17k, so ahead of everyone. And Leo was also at 12 or 12k, something like this. But Kira just achieved AoE damage before that. So now we have Eric, who just turned into a saint, who starts doing some AoE. Kira is doing a lot of AoE recently, and so let's see who is doing what. So Alejandro has been doing less quests than everyone because he joined later. He is not a damage dealer, definitely not. He's more of a support for everyone. He's doing an absolutely astonishing job, keeping everyone SP, BP at almost 100%, plus casting some various buffs, so that's nice. Ilan. I realize that Ilan has been doing almost no damage for the past 30 days. First, because he has been doing some other shits as well, but Ilan also turned out to be a support for his auras, his crazy auras, and he tends to summon Pikachu a lot for the first few rounds, but the battle last in the past few quests has been ending mostly on turn sometime 1, 2 or 3, which means Ilan usually doesn't have time to connect or only hits once per battle, while all of his allies have been, except for Alejandro, casting some absolutely devastating skills all over the place. So Ilan is almost doing no damage, which have me questioning the use of a paladin, at least late game. If I had to redo this playthrough, I'm not 100% sure that I would use 2 melee guys. I tend to believe it's good early game once you reach 6 party members, but I'm not 100% convinced that's the way to go. I might want to trade a melee guy for another spellcaster. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll see maybe for another playthrough at an even crazier difficulty setting. Who knows? Then we've got Finian. Finian, who just turned a Dragon Knight, he never played as a Dragon Knight before, has been doing some incredible damage lately. He has killed 3 times as many and dealt 3.5 times as much damage as Ilan. And the reason is he can connect faster due to his quick trait, and I've been using a lot of AoE with him, and also because he has this trait, when he damages someone he gains 1 extra BP, and he gets so much BP regen ultimately that he can burn like a lot of BP to move and strike again, which makes him an absolute melee beast. Then we have Leon, who is doing even more damage. Although Leon is hitting people one by one, he is such a beast in terms of strength that he is, and he also is the first one to play, so I tend to have him nuking some strategic enemies before he passes and hides himself into the shadows while pulling back. So he plays more often than the others in terms of number of turns per fight, but he doesn't do AoE, so that's really interesting to see how many enemies he can kill. Yeah, and he's picking like casters, faraway casters or range enemies in the back, and so he's a strategical and tactical machine who is also doing a lot of DPS. And then we have Kira, who has more than catch up with anyone, because she's doing so much AoE now that, and it's gonna get even better soon. She has been doing like an absolute mass in the past few quests, which makes her more than catch up with everyone. She has been doing even less quests than everyone because she has been sent into like, and Leon as well, yeah. Because these guys were sent into the help farmers quest assignments multiple times, so they are lagging behind. But they are catching them so much, which has me thinking that I might have used Alisa, for instance, instead of Finian, and turn Ilan into a Dragon Knight. That's what I did actually in my previous playthrough. My A-team was made of... I didn't have a bard, but I still think a bard is the way to go. So I would just keep 1 melee and 2 mages. Even though the melee guy would be like crazy shit to maintain if he's alone, but why not? And then we have Eric, who is catching up with Ilan, and he's going to go above Ilan. The reason why he now has the Saint class, and he has this spell that I'm using a lot, Cleansing Firestone, with his Mutant Alchemistry. He can drink some potions that restore his SP to 200%. So he cast this every battle and clear a 3x3 area, plus casting some support and doing this and go back to full SP, and then I will sleep and have this once again. So actually Eric kind of turns out to be my second casters. So I'm not 100% sure that bringing Alyssa to the table instead of Ilan, which has many auras, would be the way to go. So Ilan grants plus 10% PAB and MAB to his allies, minus 10% to all of his enemies, various bleeding, poison and mine resistances, bravery, which will help in case of a death roll, thus surviving death roll. And he can pin many people. He has a lot of survivability. He can pack a punch. He brings plus 15 resistance, physical resistance to everyone due to his armor. So yeah, he can stun some people. So he's like a secondary support. He can cast Pikachu. I chose him to be the Pikachu caster, who also in his turn can soak some damage. So he's a nice all-rounder support, very tanky, can hit and pack a punch quite a lot. Actually, he has 55 strength plus 32 intelligence, which makes him great at using smite, doing some true damage and holy damage, which is nice. So overall he's quite good as well. So I'm not 100% I would dismiss the paladin member for a new mage. I'm not convinced yet, and so far I've been my team around this guy, so that would be quite a challenge to import someone else. Well, that's more or less it. No one died. I don't know if I already said so. We didn't have any recent death rolls. We had 4 across the campaign, but all of them happened before day 70. Kira had 1, even though it wasn't recorded because there was a bug there. Where is it? It was here. She didn't get +1 in survivor trait, which doesn't matter actually, but now it's supposed to be fixed. So, and we had 3 other guys in lower team who had also death rolls, who all were successful, hence nobody dies. But yeah, I was a bit sloppy. I did a couple of very big mistakes. Once I didn't bring any food in a quest, which was quite critical. I made some sloppy misclick and so forth, which ended up in my teams being injured, but no one died. Sometimes some enemies connected and could have critted my guys and killed them in one shot, but the crit was below 10% chance to happen, so no one got what they could have deserved. And yeah, that's more or less it. I never craft a potion, except for the one that gives bonus attributes. And yeah, I chose those team upgrades. I haven't time to do one extra for the B team, but that's it. And yeah, that's more or less it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this special episode. I hope we won't regret the increased difficulty settings, because that's going to be a really big step, I think. Especially playing on Ironman. So I hope the next part of the campaign will be doable first and enjoyable as well, obviously. Anyway, we will witness new necessary strategies, I think. So the challenge is going to be quite interesting. At least it will be for me. I hope it will be for you. And yeah, more or less it. Hope you enjoyed once again. Please feel free to let me know anything you have in mind in the comments. Please, you can have a look in episode 50 probably, which will be very complementary to this one. And yeah, once again, hope you enjoyed and see you soon, guys. Cheers.